Good evening, sir. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Good evening.
Before we begin, can you please give a brief introduction about yourself?
My name is Dhiraj Kunwar. I passed out from Y2K batch, and I'm originally from India. Currently, I'm working in Dubai. So after the campus, as the life would be expected to be, it was exciting. It was adventurous. It was uh, gloomy at times, but uh, now if I have to look back, I'm thoroughly satisfied with the way journey has shaped up for me personally and professionally. I work in a bank here. I work in a local bank. I have, and I live with my wife, and I have two grown up kids.
Yes. You have worked in a lot of senior roles in the banking industry. So, could you please walk us through your journey?
Particularly in the area of banking, because banking is a very regulated and a structured industry. It's not like a technology startup or a fintech where you can see a very unstructured, not only the company's growth path, even the individual growth path can be exemplary, can be very fast as the company goes, and it can go other way around as well. But because bank being a very formal and very regulated industry, it has even the HR function or even the growth path is very structured. In the last 18 years, I've been in the Middle East and primarily based out of Dubai. And now I look after one of the large business bank in the country.
Right.
And I think, there are ways you can shape up your career. But at the end of the day, you have to chase a career. You don't have to chase just the money or just the recognition.
What were the choices or skills that as a from a junior role to a leadership role in the banking industry?
Someone say that you, know, uh, you need a bit of luck everywhere, and nobody is an exception. But you also need to think the other side of luck is, as they say, luck is where opportunity meets the capability. If you are prepared for the role, it may take a while, but once you get that, you will not fail. So if you keep investing in yourself, then I'm sure there's one juncture that you will get an opportunity and you'll do very well. But more often than not, sometimes people don't take that risk, or people take the risk when they're not prepared. Both ways it can work or it can backfire. But I think if I have to pick one, just because you have asked, it will be your ability to adapt to the situation. Have a great mindset, not for yourself alone, but for the company. Because at the end of the day, if the organization is growing, everybody will have a chance to grow. Nobody can grow alone if the organization is growing.
You mentioned a few challenges that you faced during your journey.
Challenges are not very different in personal life. Challenges are the same. That you you have to work within a lot of constraints. So you have limited resources and you have a lot of aspirants.
Right.
So those sort of challenges you will always find in any organization. The second, organization is the personal choice that you make. At some point, somebody sacrifice some part of their personal aspirations to meet their professional objective. And sometimes a lot of professionals tend to ignore their personal lives to achieve a set of personal professional goals. So this is a bit of balancing act. So there's no right and wrong, and the people who chase their personal games are equally capable of the different set of people who think that professional goals and meeting their professional objective is more important than meeting their personal objective. But the best outcome and the best symphony of the orchestra would be when your personal and professional goal align. In personal life, also your choice should be based on your professional commitment. If somebody is marrying an army captain, They need to be ready for the challenges that explored, but then the pride that it comes with kind of balances, the not so good part of those coming comes. So it's not easy, but if you and that's like in your team as well, professionally also. If your team aligns to your goal, your job is done. Sometimes you have to align to your supervisor's thought process, your customer thought process. So I think alignment of choices is something that people struggle right from a children to to a to a grandparent. And you'll always have conflicting choices and opposite directions to choose from.
Being in the top management, so while making strategic decisions, like which is going to lead big decisions. So how do you evaluate the risk and reward?
If you define organization as an individual, so organization is making a choice. Organization has to make choice as per the organizational value system. Like if bank has to grow at 20% or a bank has to grow at 100%, and it should align to the bank ethos of customer service. You saw a very famous bike company. When business growth came, the customer service went for toss. So there was nothing wrong in having a aspirational growth strategy, but if you have not planned your front to back supply chain or the front to back customer service delivery, then you're bound to have problems. So if the customer uh, needs to be served in a particular way as per the service charter of the organization, you first plan that while doing one, two, three, will your core values suffer?
Right.
And then you work backwards. If the bank is a high growth mindset, high risk, high return player, then it's fine to do it at a normal pace because then they will have capital set aside for that. They will have organizational value system, organizational vision and mission. And then your taking decision becomes a bit easier. But nobody knows the repercussions of a decision that you make today. You have to be bold and you have to be brave.
Know that the banking industry is rapidly evolving. So, in the next 5 years, what changes? What are the biggest changes that you feel are going to impact the banking industry? And like, how is it relevant for an MBA student to be up to date, who's planning to work in the banking sector?
Uh, you will always have set of technology changes which will threaten every industry. In formal schooling, my dad was also a bank. So when I started my schooling, probably way back in maybe early 80s, the computerization was happening. And this was the same question that all WD, all bank will shut down. Now, banking industry employs probably 100x more people today than they had in 1980s.
Right.
When there was no computer. So computer came and then the privatization came and then the rest is the history. Sometimes technology changes, so people get worried about what will happen. And you can see go back to the industrial revolution. You have you have more machines. I mean, in 1700 there were no machines, right? So when the machine came, people thought they'll not be labor. Today, world employees probably 10 times more labor than even if you adjust for the factor of population. Because the productivity grows. When the productivity grows, it can create a lot of wealth, and it can expand the market. See why, despite so much of technology changes, the world GDP is still growing. The number of job seekers and number of job doers are also growing. But you'll always have sectoral rotation. You should not worry about what artificial intelligence will do. You should worry about if you don't know artificial intelligence, what will happen to you?
Yeah,
Artificial intelligence will not take your job. You not knowing artificial intelligence will take it.
that's very true.
That what will be the bank's future? I just answered the first part.
Yes.
So bank future will be the same as other industries. The lot of repetitive processes, a lot of low skill processes will get automated. It has been happening for 10 years. Robotics or machine learning has been there for some time now. It will just fast forward the use cases and the application. And it can also be used thoroughly in risk analytics because there's one power of AI that is still is undiscovered is how much uh, risk conservation this model can do.
Right.
So this particular uh, changes in the banking sector, which is driven by data, which is driven by the artificial intelligence modeling of those data principles. It can not only make bank more efficient in terms of cost, it can also serve the customer well because the bank will be able to personalize their offerings much better because they will have access to a lot of intelligence that they didn't have, and it will also allow the bank to use the power of AI in their predictive modeling. So I think these three areas where bank will see a lot of operating model changes.
Like as an MBA student who's planning to work in the banking sector, so what skills should we develop to be in such a position as you are today?
See, for me, the skills of people and the requirement of values has not changed. Why J.R.D. Tata succeeded and why Ratan Tata succeeded and why NR is succeeding and why the next generation will succeed is because of their problem solving. And problem solving has nothing to do with technology.
Yeah.
You have five house help in the house. One will solve all the problems. The rest four will look around.
Right.
Being a team player, you have 10 people in the family. Two guys who always come up and try to take the ship forward. There's nothing to do with technology. Collaboration, ability to think big picture, and ability to see through the future. Nothing to. These are virtues. Has nothing to do with technology. People under invest in themselves. They think that they should do some course and everything will be okay. Even if you do a course in AI, ultimately you have to solve the problem by using AI as a tool.
Correct.
If you do a neuroscience, psychology team and do a team building exercise, but if you are not a team player, it's not going to help. So what I'm trying to say is that a person's ability to perform or produce is the ability to solve the upcoming problems and work in a team to collaborate in order to achieve the organizational goal and the personal goal. In the process, you will have a lot of machines and tools and codes to help you with.
Right.
The code and machine itself will not produce. You have to work with the changes. So there are digital banks who are doing phenomenal job. There are traditional banks who's doing phenomenal job. There are a lot of fintechs in India who's doing fantastically well. But there's also a bank called ICICI. They're growing profit from every quarter since like time immemorial. So it's not one size fit all. It's not uh, general thought. But yes, if you are a sincere uh, person and willing to work, collaborate, and think through, I'm sure success is just around the corner.
I'm sure there are a few courses that will be beneficial for a person who wants to grow in the banking industry. Something, some special skill that you can just mention that it'll be relevant for making decisions in your career as a banking person.
The basic values and basic etiquettes and basic intelligence will always be more will always play a more defining role in how people shape up.
Right.
But if you are not alongside the changes which are happening in the world, you will be left behind. So today, whether I'm a insurance company managing director, or I'm a bank MD, or I'm a retail decision maker, or I'm a agriculture scientist, everybody needs to understand a bit of technology. Yes. And not in terms of knowing how to code in that technology, but to understand how technology can define my customer service, how technology can make my production more efficient, how can technology uh, give me enough insights and data which will enable me to take more decisions. So I think AI is the next big thing. And AI has a very far-reaching impact. It can touch anybody right from your kitchen to go to. I mean, it's not something that anybody will be untouched. So, looking from the perspective of how can you use data to decide for yourself or for your company. So, data-led decisions. For that, whether you have to do a course in AI, or whether you have to do a course in data sciences, or whether you have to do a course on network or platforms. I think understanding how a platform works, understanding how data can help you, and how artificial intelligence can help you be being your better self. I think these three four aspects will always be handy. As far as the traditional banking and financial services are concerned, I think banks needs to deal with heightened cyber risk. So the traditional banks will be challenged not only by digital banks who are leveraging data better than the traditional banks, and there are also heightened level of cyber or digital fraud which is happening in the market. So if one is trying to learn about that, that would be very handy. I'm just giving you a bit of context on the banking, because traditional things that like finance and capital markets and credit analysis, that's something that you anyways go through in your MBA course. One thing that I will always say, uh, the social impact of the banking sector. Like banking is the tertiary sector of economy, right? Right. So how does bank play a role in social upliftment of a country? Yeah. How do we use the power of credit to create social impact, to create sustainable impact, and how does the banking sector play a pivotal part of public policy making? So these are the neighborhood readings that you should. I mean, anyone who is aspiring to have a career in financial services should do. So it was great knowing all this from you. Like really, it really helped because we have a lot of people who want to pursue their career in banking, especially me also. So it was a really insightful conversation with you. So thank you so much for having me on the show and taking the initiative to do this event for your colleagues. No worries. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. So thank you so much. Thank you for your time.